So we're excited as always to be here with you. You know, every 2 years, Sherry and I get the opportunity to come and spend time with our leaders from around the world, and it's the best time for us in the business because we get to see so many of you all together, and we have a wonderful time. We're so grateful for all the hard work that you do out in the field and in different countries, and we're also so grateful for the upline, John and Mark, and Nathan, who's here with us this morning. We're grateful for Steve and his efforts as he travels around the world, but we're grateful for all the things that you do. Really, this business has blessed Sherry's and my life. I know it's blessed Nathan's life, and I know Mark and John, how they live. And a lot of you also have the blessings of what this business can do when you have success. We also know it can be difficult. You know, Sherry and I, as we go around the world, we tell the story about what we went through in the early years in the business, and it wasn't easy for us in the early years. As we know, it's not easy for some of you. It's really not easy for anybody. You know, the business is quite challenging, but as you grow and learn, and a lot of the comments we get, the feedback we get from people is, you know, who they're becoming in the process of becoming successful is more important oftentimes than the money that they're making, although the money was always the most important thing for me. I want to be quite clear about that. So, anyway, we're grateful that you're all here. I'm not going to take up too much more time. I might talk a little later this morning, depending on how much time we have. But I asked Nathan to come along this morning and share some wisdom with you. You know, one of the most unbelievable things to me, and I'm getting a little choked up here because this guy, I think I'm on his 6th or 7th level actually. So he doesn't get financially benefit from anything that he does for Sherry and I. But over the last 25 years, he's traveled to countries, he's traveled the world working with our organization, and we are so grateful for that, you know, and I just want to show him some appreciation for that. Because, you know, he and I are really close friends, and Sherry is close friends with Nathan and Joyce, and you know, we've had some wonderful times together with them around the world, and he's gone so far out of his way. You know, 10 years into the business, I thought to myself, well, I'm in his downline, and he gets paid off me, so it's fine what he does. But I found out later, when I did the numbers, that he doesn't get paid off what we do, but he's still so gracious to come to just about whatever we ask him to come to. So I'm going to turn the time over to Nathan to spend a couple of minutes with you and share some of the excitement and the things that he's always very good at that, you know, so we're grateful that he comes to our events, and so I'll hand it over to Nathan Ricks. Huh? Thank
you. Now you're making me embarrassed, Sean. All right, well, good morning, everybody. I don't like wearing suits anyway, but once in a while we have to do it, right? Well, it's a great convention, again. I don't know how many times we've been here, Sean. How many years?
25.
Lots and lots, yeah. Here we are. I know I've been here 26 years and counting. It feels like it was just yesterday on the first convention. I remember John was there. Mark, did you go to that first one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So John and Mark, and I remember Richmond, a few other people, and we were brand new. We were about 6 weeks into New Skin, and I don't know, about 6 weeks in, I started on June 15th of 1989, and it was about the 1st of September, and my brother-in-law who sponsored me said, okay, you guys are doing a great job recruiting, but I want you to stop recruiting for the business and only recruit for the convention. And so for the next 6 weeks, all we did was recruit to get people to come to the convention, and it was in a building that's not even here anymore. It was the old Salt Palace, and there was a room for about 1,500 people. And I remember we sat down, myself and Scott Tillison, who was my partner at the time, and we sat down and said, okay, so what do we want to have happen at this convention? And we knew there were 1,500 seats in the room. They hadn't sold it out yet, okay? That's 10 times smaller than we have this year, right? They hadn't sold it out yet, and so we said, well, let's just make a crazy goal. Let's just say we want 10% of the people in the room from our group. And so we grabbed a few people and we said, how many can you bring, and how many can you bring, and how many will you bring? And we kind of divvied it up, broke up the goal of 150 people. 10% of the room is what we said is this crazy goal. And we just started grabbing everybody from everywhere as fast as we could. And we were 6 weeks ahead of it, so we started grabbing people from New York and from Alaska and the furthest places away so they could buy cheaper airplane tickets. So we started working our way in towards Utah. And even the last couple of days, we were calling people on the phone and saying, sorry, you know, you only got 1 day, you're going to have to buy a full price airplane ticket, but you got to be here. And we ended up with 151 people from our group that showed up for that convention, and we met our goal to do that, and it really just springboarded our whole group. You know, I mean, everybody just really had tremendous success right after that event in terms of recruiting. They just caught this vision, and that was really where, almost by accident, thankful to my upline for like cluing me in, but almost by accident, we learned how important these events are. And you've seen that in your own countries, you've seen that in other new skin conventions and regional conventions. It's just so important that people come to these events because it stretches your mind. You know, it kind of gives you a different perspective of what is possible in this world of new skin. And it's so inspiring to me because we see people from every walk of life, every language, every country. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters about your past, your failures, your successes, your education or lack of education. Nothing really matters if you can come here and you catch a vision about what's possible. And you catch that vision by watching other people. You hear other people as they go across stage, or you hear their stories, or you're able to sit down and just talk to somebody one-on-one between a session or at lunch or, you know, at a coffee break or something, and you start to hear their story, you hear what they've been through and that they're able to do it. And it gives you confidence that you can do it too. And I just want to, you know, give a shout out for New Skin. I'm so glad Blake Roney's back, and, you know, he's such a great example to all of us. He is to me for sure. And his mentorship and guidance over the years has been critical for this company. They're really good people, right? They always try to do the right thing. They're definitely not perfect. They will make mistakes, for sure. They're human, right? But it's not with any malintent. You know, it's always for the good of everybody. That's how they always look at it. And that's something that I have found just really, you know, I guess grounding, or it's given me so much confidence over all these years that I always knew that the company was behind us. They were always making decisions for the best interest of the whole, you know, the best interest of everybody. And so that's been something that has given me the confidence to always go out and represent that, you know, this is the greatest company in this industry. And, you know, eventually they'll all be joining us here somewhere, as their other stupid companies make bad decisions and go out of business, right? So, you know, we're just patient. Eventually we get them all. They come right here because we're here, and we will always be here, and we will continue to grow the business, you know, the best way we know how. And every one of you are a big part of that. You know, John and I were just talking at the door for a few minutes, and, you know, John's been a great friend all these years. And I've always said that he's probably got the best people skills of anybody I know on the planet. You know, he just does such a great job with people, and I've learned so much from him over the years about how to deal with people and how to, you know, take care of certain things, how to present things, how to market things, and done such a great job. And we're both getting older, you know? He's older than me. But, it's been a great relationship all these years as we learn from each other, and, you know, we take different roles. I'm not as active as I used to be when I was younger, you know, but you can only light your hair on fire so long and then it all burns off, right? So that's what's been so fun about this business, is you can always find, you know, there's different seasons in the business, and there's different seasons in life. And what's so great is you can look at a guy like John, who's built this amazing international business, and you know what? He can now enjoy the benefits of that, and he can do the things he needs to do from a family point of view, a health point of view, and whatever it is. And, you know, he's done a phenomenal job and impacted so many people's lives. You know, it's just an amazing thing to see what can happen. So Anyway, thank you for all you do. Thank you for building your businesses and touching a lot of people and having the right attitude about it, doing it in the right way. It's just remarkable to see it happen.
And now, could you touch for 1 second on what you see happening over the next couple of years with Nu Skin, where you think they're going to go?
Sure.
New products and things that are coming.
Yeah. So, youth. I mean, you guys, most of you have youth now, right? Southeast Asia has youth. Yeah, or whatever we're calling it, right? Let's call it Y. Everybody's got Y all over the world. Yeah, so that product, as I've been doing, I was on the road the last 2 weeks in the U.S., just doing meetings and talking to people, and it's pretty remarkable the results that some people get from you. I've been a LifePak user for 20 plus years. I think I'm fairly healthy, and I honestly don't notice any real physical change, but I feel pretty good anyway from all my years of doing the product and trying to stay healthy. I've noticed people that seem to have more kind of acute or specific health challenges have had some pretty remarkable results from taking that product. And when you talk to Joe Chang about it, I'm not a scientist, I don't want to be a scientist, I just want to be a marketer, right? Joe, when you talk to him, he says this: if all of our scientists could only take one product, we would take you. And you look at a couple of the key things that it does. Probably the most significant thing that it has shown in the studies they've done with the ingredients that are in you is the way it knocks down inflammation in the body. And inflammation levels are the genesis of most health problems that people experience as they age. And if you can knock inflammation down like that product can, that's a really significant thing. And that's probably a big piece of the effect that people are getting from this product. So besides that, they've said that it can help modify over the expression of over 1,000 genes in your body. So that's also impressive, as you modify those, help them act younger through the course of your life and keep that youthful expression going. So amazing product. ageLock Me is a really unique device. We've watched the evolution of the biophotonic scanner from the S1 to the S2 to the S3 and an S4 someday, and who knows what else, right? You'll see the same thing on ageLock Me. This is the S1 of ageLock Me. And that machine will get better and smarter and will know you better over the next 10 years as they do new iterations of software and new iterations of that device. They have a huge investment in that device, the biggest they've ever put into anything probably except the biophotonic scanner. Okay, 35 million and counting on that device. So it's very unique, very different. I was talking to some people in Europe that said they have figured out how to do half-face demonstrations with ageLock Me. And they said that it's really dramatic and it's really fast, like within 1 minute. So, people will figure out different ways to utilize that machine in probably a more demonstrable mode so people can see it demonstrated, understand it, and then decide they're going to put that on their bathroom counter and have the benefits of that product going forward. So it's just another first for Nu Skin, that is allowing a real change, the first real change in probably 100 years in skincare. Because everybody's done bottles and jars for the last 100 years. And that's what we are today. We're a bottle and jar and tube, company. You take a tube and you squeeze it on your hand, you wipe it on your hand, you introduce bacteria in the tube. You dip your finger in a jar, you introduce bacteria in a jar, right? So every skincare product has antimicrobials and antibacterial agents and make sure it doesn't grow a petri dish in your bathroom, right? And now, for the first time, there's no touching. It just can dispense. There's no chance of contamination. And so now they don't have to use the antimicrobials and bacteria the way they used to in skincare formulation. And what that means is now Nu Skin's formulary scientists can actually look at a much more broad spectrum of possible ingredients that you can put into skincare products that heretofore were off the list because they were either too organic or too alive, or they would grow in a different way, and all of a sudden now you can put in better ingredients, more potent ingredients. You can do some things that have never been able to be done before in skincare. So I don't know where all that goes. It's just kind of the beginning of all that, right? And I'm sure they'll keep working on it. They'll keep pushing on that point, and I'm sure they'll come up with better and better, serums and cartridges that we will have introduced over the next 5 years that will continue to make that machine even more effective for people. So it's an exciting time, with that. It's a sea change in skincare. It's exciting. I had a meeting down there about 4 months ago, and I saw the 2017 product that they're going to introduce. And I'm under non-disclosure. I can't say anything else about it other than it's a really awesome product, and so that is just what will continue to happen. They will continue to come up with new things. And when you look at the size of Nu Skin, and you look at the amount of financial resources that they can dedicate to exploring these kinds of new things, it's really beyond what almost any other company can afford to do. And so they're using their size, their financial capacity, staying focused on the anti-aging task at hand to continue to not only extend the lead, but widen the lead between Nu Skin and anybody else in the anti-aging world. And as long as they stay focused on that and stick to their knitting and mind their business and don't get distracted, right? Which they've shown they have the ability to do. The management team's been able to do that. As long as they can stay on that path and continue to apply those resources in the right ways, in the right places, everybody in this room can have a lot of hope that the future is going to continue to get bigger and stronger and brighter than it is today. And that's the promise that Nu Skin's made, is that we want to be here for your children, your grandchildren. They can work this business, and you can make this a family legacy like it has become for many of us. And it's something that is absolutely doable and possible. So anyway, the future is very bright.
Can you talk about Sundays for a few seconds?
Yeah, if you're in town on Sunday, we normally don't do a meeting on Sunday, but we literally could not find a venue for Saturday afternoon this time. So we are doing a meeting Sunday morning, and that will be at the Hilton Hotel, just up the street near the Salt Palace. And it's called the OTG Global Convention Summit. And it's $20, and we're going to go from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. that day, and you will, for the first time, kind of see really the global representation of One Team Global and what it means and how you can benefit from that. You may have seen the new website that will replace our current website, and all the country websites will be available under the new URL that is otg.global. So these are new domain namings, they're called TLDs, top level domain names. So we've been able to purchase otg.global. So it's not otgglobal.com. You won't find it that way. It's otg.global. Okay, so you can go there and you can see the new website format. You'll see the Chile opening information. You can scroll down a little bit and all the details of what we'll be doing for the opening down there. And you'll see that there's also the drop-down menu for about 20 other countries, websites in different languages and so forth. So it's just going to be the new platform that we'll use going forward. We're introducing the OTG Connect app, which is a phenomenal app we've been working on for over a year. And that app will just be downloaded to your smartphone, and it will do amazing things for you in terms of communicating with your teams and push text messages, kind of an instant messaging type, WeChat type function that's all built into it. And then you've got all the assets that you can push to anybody anytime from your phone for recruiting. Those will eventually be in every language we have, So just amazing contact management where you can have it remind you anytime on your calendar of people you need to get back to. You can see what assets you sent to them, how much they watched of the video or didn't watch, It's got a lot of great stuff. So as smartphones are kind of pervasive now around the world, it's a great time to have an app that everybody can use to really build their business in a really significant way. So that'll be introduced also on Sunday, and then on OTG On Demand will be introduced on Sunday. So this is a subscription that you can subscribe to, and you can tap into the best speeches from all the Success Summits or Success Olympics around the world, and you'll be able to subscribe in different markets and different languages for that. And all these funds from the app or OTG On Demand all go back to support OTG in those local regions. So if you're from a country where there's a different language and you're you're in your downline or using OTG on demand, 90% of the money will go back into your market. 10% will go to keep the app and the technology and the software up to date. So it's just a way for everybody in the world to fund all of your activities, you know, in those regions. And we're really excited about it. So anyway, there'll be that, and there'll be a whole bunch of other things that will be talked about on Sunday. So if you're around, I would suggest you be there. Bring your team. If you're not, then sorry. We'll catch you next time. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, you guys. You're awesome.